If there is a crisis, then we need to be prepared. Today I'm going to present you with some information that will be useful to you on this topic. You came here for the truth. So today let's get into it right away. The first order of business is to think about what to do with our savings. Now, what exactly do most people do with their savings? Well, they keep it in the bank. And I think that is so dangerous, so disastrous. But the average person never even considers the possibility of putting their assets anywhere else. What do? Put that amount of savings, whatever it is, into real assets. Some real assets will provide you with monthly income, and others, such as gold or silver, may not do so. But all of them have their own pros and cons, their own attributes, which may be useful to you. So let's think about this for a second. Gold and silver holds value over a long period of time, we know that. But gold and silver does not bring in a monthly income, which could be absolutely essential for you. But what we know about cash is that it will devalue over a long period of time. Just ask your grandfather what a quarter was back in his day. I assure you it would buy you a lot more than it does today. So we know that price stability, which is the central bank's real policy that they have, it's a fraud, because we know over time the money continues to be worth less and less. So we know that cash is a bad investment. Does that mean you should get rid of all your cash? No, absolutely not, because some cash kept under the mattress will be able to provide you with some means of transaction should there be a big crisis going on. Now, does that mean you should keep everything under the mattress? No, that I don't think that's a good idea either. Real assets are where your savings have to be. So having some cash on hand, beneficial, but savings in cash, no, absolutely not. We want to have some amount of gold and silver, even if it's just a very, very small amount, even 5 or 10%. I think people will do very well to hold some of that. What I believe is advantageous about gold and silver is the ability to pass it on generation through generation. Now, a lot of people in the West, they don't believe in that. However, in other cultures, it is very, very typical. When you have weddings, when you have any big event, a lot of people receive gold coins and high carat jewelry. It's a way to pass that wealth down between families or to keep it within the families, and they do so. And simply, it's cultural. They have always been doing this, and it's a simple way for families to keep the wealth within themselves. This is something that people in the West, they don't agree with, they don't do that. I, however, feel that is very good. If you're going to invest in jewelry, it's much better than investing in a depreciating liability. That's a fact. Let's talk about stocks. Some stocks may outlast governments. That's a fact. You'll see these companies that will go on and on and on, but governments, unfortunately, will fail. That being said, I don't see stocks being a very good asset at this time, specifically because things like the PE ratios and the overvaluation that we've been seeing, the market is very hot. The market is insanely hot. In fact, if you look at it based on different indicators, many people will continue to make money in stocks. I just think that it's a little overheated at this time. Having said that, if you are interested in stocks, the best ones to get are those that provide passive income. If they are giving quarterly dividends, for example, then you're going to get paid out. If the stock declines significantly, you may still be getting paid out on your dividends, and that is so beneficial, and a lot of people do not take that into account. They simply look at the appreciation of a particular stock, and I think that's a big mistake. So when you're looking at stocks, when you're looking at even corporate bonds, think about that passive income. That's important. What about real estate? Real estate offers a way to provide income in 4 different ways. I talk about this in my book. But what we need to understand is that real estate, a lot of people are priced out of that market. So does that mean you are not able to get in? Absolutely not. Real estate homes, let's say, are very expensive for a lot of people. You can see that with the general housing price index versus what people make on a annual basis. However, is a home the only asset in real estate? Well, most people would say, well, yes, that's a fact, but it's not. And I'll give you a little tidbit here. I do talk about it in my book here, but if you are looking into real estate, why not look into storage lockers? Storage lockers are very cheap, and yet they provide a way for you to get into the real estate market when everybody is simply priced out of it. I don't agree with fractional reserve ownership, timeshares, and things like this. I don't see that as being ownership at all, and simply should be you should stay away from that. But things like storage lockers and other things that I get into in my book are much better, much better. They provide you with a monthly income and so on. Then we have cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of euphoria around cryptocurrencies right now at this time. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies now which will not be around in the future. That's a fact. But if we stick to, for example, just one, Bitcoin, it has had a extreme run-up. There's no doubt about that. But the market cap, seemingly, is very small when compared to the whole financial industry. When you take a particular stock like Apple or like the tech industry as a whole, Bitcoin is very, very small. So perhaps it has a long while to go. I don't think that necessarily it is the be-all, end-all, and all of our money should be in stocks or in Bitcoin. I think that's a big mistake. However, I think it could be a good thing to hold, at least in a very small percentage of your portfolio. If you just had, let's say, 5%, then I think you'll do better having that 5% than not having any at all. I don't think that it is the new gold or it is a replacement for real estate or anything else. A lot of people have dropped a lot of money in Bitcoin, and I just think that it's a little too new at this time. We don't know what the government regulations will do to the price because a lot of it is speculation right now at this time. I, however, believe that transacting using Bitcoin from you and I is something that makes it better than the financial system that runs on the networks of all of these multinational conglomerates that are punishing you and I. Let's get away from these corporations and let's transact in something like a Bitcoin. I think that's great. I do really think that is positive. But I don't think that we should be piling all of our assets in at this time. I just don't see that to be a viable option for many people. We need to diversify as much as possible, even within the asset class itself. Look, if you have gold and silver, don't just buy Maple Leafs. Don't just buy Silver Eagles. You don't want that. You want to be able to diversify within the asset class itself. I think that is very smart. I think that is very important. And I think that is a good way to end off the video. If you found this video informative, then please give me a thumbs up. And last but not least, check out my website, themoneygps.com, where I have tons of free information. I have free ebooks. I have a free e-course for you to check out on there. Take care.